Negative emotions are a part of our flesh and bones adventure, and the act of negating the awareness of how challenging they can be poisons that blood and rottens those bones. It is a toxic, absolutely non-natural movement that clearly focuses on one perspective. The toxic positivity, the good vibes only realms dismember what this life is all about. They keep us shut in the dark room of the positive outlook and deny us to experience the freedom of cycles. Discrediting the roots of sadness and pain, uncertainty and mental health that are naturally attached to the cycles of life is unnatural, as we cannot deny an emotional response. This is nowhere to be seen in nature and animal realm. Emotional responses are what makes us alive. For how much of a paradox it can sound like, I have always felt that negative emotions wouldn't exist if they weren't useful to our survival. If I look back at the ancestors of my land and their depression, their mental health, my conclusion would most certainly be that depression might have appeared as a way to protect them from using unnecessary energy in some seasons. Depression in the female realm of the ancestors of these lands might have kept pregnant women and mothers inactive for periods of times, which translated in safe indoors. Depression up here in the past might have represented the cycle of life coming and going in order to offer protection. I feel we might not perceive depression, anxiety, pain as natural responses to life anymore, and I have often in my prayers and rituals asked the gods, why? I have denied to acknowledge their answer for many years. I could not comprehend it in my urban life. I simply couldn't. But this was me. It was my story and my incapability. Until 10 years ago now, I moved to the wilds of northern Norway, one of the most hostile settings on the planet. And I started living with the landscape instead, and the collections of ancestral landforms such as mountains and plateaus, lakes, streams, soils, all shouted the unbearable answer. Because we have stopped living naturally, we have stopped the natural process of being shaped by the land. And the idea that we can exclude ourselves from the picture we choose to be in is surreal and creates a huge deal of tension. You see, it is absolutely 100% natural not to be okay. Have you ever noticed that also mental health, pain, sadness move in cycles? Look outside as they move exactly like nature moves. Nature is under the spell of seasons as much as we humans and all other realms are. Asking our bodies and mind to go through life being unaffected is the worst dystopia ever. There is a sorcery in the cycles of nature whose ingredients are all necessary in the cauldron of life. The riot of colors and fragrances of the spring and summer, the barren dance of tree bones in the autumn and winter seasons, where those who have time to observe and truly feel can see that nature itself has fatigue, lethargies all around, birds fly less, reindeer heavily moves across the terrain in a dance of hopelessness and trouble, concentrating on finding the energy that feeds the body. When we cut ourselves out of the worlds of the cycles in life, we feel alone. I dance my dance of rotting feelings hand in hand with nature. I find comfort in that, and I do not try to fix it. I try to make it flow. I will never betray and always choose to value the heaviness of my mind and heart when it is there. As I would never decide to cut a tree that is barren because it does not exactly represent the perfect view, as barren and heavy are also part of the cycles of life, and what is barren today will eventually produce an offspring tomorrow. As the tides chase the moon, as the trees chase the sun, like the reindeer chases the summer lands and the northern lights chase the midnight sun, I also chase a better day, a better self, my moments of offspring, as I'm not separate from the land. Nature is the rope I use to navigate life, is the awareness that isolation is an illusion. When we stop being able to simply be, to simply exist under a starry sky next to the bodies of trees and animals, we stop existing to our life. The embrace of the land is an embrace that won't judge you, both in barren and fertile soils. You see, a place where there is acceptance that everything comes and goes is a place of great freedom. Nothing is stagnant in life. When the fires burn in our homes, the land sinks to rest. When the stars shine, our sun goes to sleep for a month. As the land not just endures but lives the cycles of life with gratitude and openness, why wouldn't we? When did we become so disturbingly special? We became that when the most noble scenes of nature have been made desolate, when we stopped honoring the land and nature became something to see and stopped being something to feel. we started nurturing environments of emotional phobias that damage the sacred connections, where people simply can no longer identify and honestly fear their own emotions and the emotions of others. As I walk these polar grounds here, I can see how the land is bent but not broken, as the trees are badly wounded but still standing, how the reindeer is hungry but not powerless. I can feel how you bleed inside, how we all bleed inside, but we are not giving it all up. It's the stigma we should be ashamed of, not the struggle to remember in the cold nights what the sun feels like.
See the light of the stars, hear the sound of the unseen in the empty fall. In the silence, listen. May it lift your heart and move your feet to run again. May you wander far. You will not be lost within. And you'll see the light, though the darkness seems so strong. In the deepest night, let love lead you home. Come and rest